What's good, YouTube? DM Gaming here, guys. We gotta talk, man. We gotta talk. So there is a Twitter account by the name of Everything EA College Football. Now, guys, spoilers are unavoidable. Okay, if you don't want to be spoiled by some of the stuff that's in the game, click away now. Click away now. Know what you're gonna say? DM, you said you weren't gonna share anything that comes from the beta. Well, EA ain't hollering at your boy this year, so why not? No, I'm just, we give information. I ain't on no NDA or nothing like that, and none of the stuff that I'm going to talk to you about is my own. It's out there. It's public knowledge right now, so whatever, So before we get into that, guys, if you're new to the channel, or if you just been sitting around a couch potato Poindexter and ain't hit the subscribe button, subscribe right now, okay? Click the sub button, turn that bell icon on so you don't miss a single upload, because, guys, trust me, you do not want me to tell everybody your deepest, darkest fear, okay? Because it's not what people think it is. I don't want to expose you like that because it's funny, I'm just, I'm not afraid of those, pink unicorns and stuff, but whatever. Subscribe to the channel, guys. So this Twitter account, Everything EA College Football, has put out some stuff. Something that caught my eye way earlier is Archetypes. And this isn't Archetypes in the sense of Road to Glory mode. This is stuff from like Dynasty mode, bro. I don't know what this is. I just thought it looked cool. It's Texas, they playbook or whatever. But I can't wait to get to look at the playbook so we can do our playbook series and stuff like that and do schemes and stuff like that. Super excited. That content is coming to the channel. So one thing here he mentions in this text here, you can edit the rate at which players on the CPU/user teams transfer. So if you prefer how the transfer portal was now, you can make it that way. Like, guys, I don't even remember who said it, that this game is, I think they said it in the deep dive. If not, Clint said it, OG said it, that the game is very customizable to the experience that you want to experience. But you can edit the rate at which players on the CPU or user teams transfer. Set a max limit for how many players can transfer. Wear and tear sliders are a thing. That is dope. But this is my favorite thing. Manually upgrade players. Dev traits can upgrade. This is big because if you don't know, inside of Dynasty mode, if you go and look at your player, they earn skill points. They earn upgrade points. And I never could understand why we weren't able to upgrade our players, because it's the same concept as in Road to Glory, where you get those skill points where you can level up your player. Your players get them in Dynasty mode, guys. If you go right now and look at your roster, look in the top right hand corner, they get those skill points. And I was like, why can't I upgrade my own players? The computer generally, it just does it for you. So now we're able to do that, and we're able to upgrade dev traits. I think that is a phenomenal idea. Otherwise, like I said, the game just does it automatically, but now we can do it manually. So a little bit more hands-on right there, if you will. And then here, lots of new coach drip. Guys, I saw some stuff on Instagram. And what did I tell y'all? When it came to these coaches, if they're putting real coaches in the game, we talked about Lane Kiffin with the visor. We talked about Dave with the hat. Bruh, I'm telling you, I've seen some stuff. It is a lot of drippy to drippy drip. I don't know if it's going to be as drippy as Madden, or you could put J's on your coach and stuff like that. But, oh my gosh, thank you, college football guys, that we have more than just two shirt options. It's a lot of options. There's several options, guys. So kudos to that. That's a big deal. And then there's this guy here. Why do people care what coaches wear? Because you play Dynasty mode. In Dynasty mode, you're the freaking coach. You freaking fricker. Anyway, don't get me started. What about players? Guys, players are getting more gear. Jesus. Like, y'all, why would y'all think they would put out a new game and not add more gear? That's wild. But this is what I wanted to talk about here. Archetypes. Okay, so list of the archetypes. And before we go through these, somebody asked him, wait, is this Road to Glory? He says, no. I don't know the source of his information, but the stuff he's been putting out has been truthful information. I even liked and retweeted this because this is huge. It goes with what a lot of the big stuff that I've been wanting in the game. List of archetypes in college football 26. Look at the quarterback, bro. They told you that and 15 new archetypes to Road to Glory. Guys, apparently they're also adding in the Dynasty mode. This is going to add so much depth. So much depth to your Dynasty mode. Because now, bro, I'm telling you, at this point, if I get into college football 26 and they don't have something on the recruiting tab that has a little puzzle piece to say, hey, this is a key player for your scheme, guys, if that's not in the game this year, I will bet $100 that it's going to be in the game next year. You do not list all of these different archetypes. You do not have all of these different schemes. And in recruiting and things like that, you leave it void of saying, hey, I got 2 left guards. Which one fits my scheme? I'm telling you right now, okay, that if it's not in the game this year, I don't see how they don't put it in the game next year, where when you're looking at those players, it's going to let you know this player fits your offensive scheme. This particular player fits your defensive scheme. There's going to be some kind of thing that says, based on your player needs, these are the players that fit. So you may see 2 quarterbacks. One may fit your scheme. The other one may not. And that's the one that you recruit. If it's not in the game this year, which I'd be surprised if it wasn't with them going in depth like this. I don't see how it's not in the game next year, because it was even in older college football games. Whenever you would pick your scheme, it would tell you what you need based on your scheme. So anyway, but very interesting here. You have backfield creator. I have no idea what some of these are. Backfield creator. I don't know. Maybe a quarterback that excels at creating. Maybe this is a quarterback who has really good pocket presence. I mean, he can sit in the pocket, avoid tackles, and he throws that ball downfield and makes plays. Pure runner. Okay, this is your Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson type guys. Actually, I ain't even gonna say that because they're more dual threat. They can run and they can pass. And then pocket passer. So I don't know, maybe backfield creator is more like your improviser, because they don't have improviser. Maybe they replace that with backfield creator. A quarterback that's not really mobile, he's not a dual threat guy, but he's not as slow as a pocket passer. Like, he can make guys miss in the pocket, he can roll out, he can play action, that type of guy. I think that's what a backfield creator is. I'm interested to see this pure runner. Somebody told me in the comment section that they've played the beta, and they said, DM, what you wanted with quarterbacks is in the game. If you are a fast, elite quarterback, it's off the chain. Now, take that with a grain of salt, because the beta is an extremely early build. By the way, I've seen people kind of talking about gameplay-wise in the beta and stuff like that. Guys, that's the reason why they didn't release that to everybody. This beta is a very old build of the game. The game that we will play will be drastically different. I guarantee you that. And so with that being said, take what you see, not what you see. Take how the game is with a grain of salt as far as gameplay goes. And people aren't doing that. They're just hopping in like it's the final build of the game and complaining about certain things. Guys, y'all know. All right, so running back, you have Elusive Bruiser, which is a very interesting archetype here, because now, to me, this is a hybrid. This is a combination of a back that has elusiveness, but he's also a bruiser. Think like Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry can make you miss, but he will also run straight through you. You know what I'm saying? Or like back in the day, like a guy like Trent Richardson. That's a perfect example. For those of y'all who don't remember Trent Richardson, boy, when he was at Alabama, oh my God, he will run through you and he will run around you. That is an elusive bruiser. A north and south blocker. This is very interesting because I don't know if anybody who would create a running back that would specialize in blocking. Does that make sense? or I'm not going to say create, because I say that because, hey, these same archetypes may be in Road to Glory. But this is kind of telling you, hey, if I want to run an air raid offense where I do have a running back in the backfield, we don't run the ball that much. This could be the type of running back that you would utilize for that. A north and south blocker. He's going up and down the field. He ain't going side to side and all this and that. You have an east and west playmaker. These are the type of backs that will, they're high agility. I'll put it like that. They don't have good top end speed, and this is all speculation based off what I know about football, whatever. They don't have good north and south speed. Like, they may not be like a 97 speed, like a 4.3 guy. They may be like a 4.5 guy or something like that. But they're very they have a lot of agility or high acceleration. Let's put it like that. High acceleration, because those are the guys that'll get east and west, but they don't have good top speed. Backfield threat. These are the type of running backs, in my opinion. I'm just speculating here. Your backfield threat is probably your running backs that are good at making people miss in the backfield. They have good ball carrier vision. They have good tackle breaking ability, breaking tackles. Like, they're hard. I would say kind of elusive. Like, a blitzing linebacker gets through and you think you got this guy wrapped up and he makes you miss. Okay, he's a backfield threat. Okay, north and south receiver. This is just your receiving back. Okay, a receiving back that can stretch the field. And I'm not talking about running into the flats. That's an east and west thing. Your average running back goes into the flats on flood routes and stuff like that. This is a running back that you can motion out into the slot and you can go downfield and make some plays happen. And then you have wide receivers, elusive route runner. This is your route runner who's going to get a lot of yards after the catch because he's elusive. He can juke, he can spin, he's going to make plays after that. Gritty possession. This is your possession receiver. They're just adding gritty to it. Why? Because your possession receivers are way more physical. This is a physical guy who will go up and catch the ball, stiff arm you to the ground, and go score a touchdown. This is your goal line type of guy that you just throw it up to. You get what I'm saying? Contested specialist. This is a guy who has very high jump ability, who has good agility and flexibility. Think like your Odell Beckham's, okay? A super catch specialist. He doesn't have blazing speed on the field. He's not going to just burn you deep, but I mean, when the ball is thrown to him, he's going to find a way to come down with it. Does you get what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have to double team, triple team this guy, okay? Because you're going to say dealing with your possession receivers are going to come down with the ball. Yeah, but that's one-on-one, okay? Your contested specialist, the key word there is contested, all right? He handles man coverage very well. Gadget, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen this term used in Madden, the gadget position, which will be in Madden. I honestly could not tell you what that is. Not going to lie. Y'all let me know what it is down in the comment section down below. Appreciate that. And then route artist. Think like your Chad Ochocinco's. He was a route god. Jerry Rice. You know what I'm saying? Chris Carter. Guys who just can run. They're not the fastest guys on the field. They're not the strongest guys on the field, but they will route you up, boy. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what I feel like that is. Tight ends, you have your vertical tight ends. This is your speedy guy. Gritty possession, same as the receiver. Physical route runner. A tight end who can run routes, but he's a bigger guy. He'll run through you to get to that out route. Possession is just that. It's possession. So see, you have two different ones. You have possession and you have gritty possession. Gritty possession is a bigger physical guy who could probably go up and get the football. And then you have your pure blocking tight ends that are good for your option games. Guys, I'm going to go through this when I read it. I'm going to do a video later that's going to say, hey, based on these archetypes, what is going to be the best fit for your scheme? So let's do this in the comment section down below. Y'all let me know what scheme you plan on running, and I'm gonna utilize that and do a couple of videos that's gonna utilize these archetypes and tell you the type of players that you need to be looking for your scheme. O-line, you have raw strength. These are just the guys that can they're not getting bull rushed. If they get their hands on you, you locked up, buddy. Well-rounded is just your balance guy. They're good at the run and they're good at the pass. Straight pass protector, okay? Pass protector, just it is what it is, self-explanatory. And so your raw strength is going to be more of your downhill run type offensive lineman. And then agile. Agile guys are good for like your option games and teams that like to stretch the field sideways, east and west. Your guards that are going to be you need agile guards if you're going to be running schemes that are going to require the guards to pull and kick and stuff like that. But if you're just running north to south, downhill, veer and stuff, get your raw strength type offensive lineman. See, I'm kind of getting into the scheme stuff already. Defensively, you have your speed rusher, self-explanatory. Edge setter, okay? Speed rusher, they speed. This is just a fast defensive end, okay? Edge setter is a more physical, stronger guy that's going to be able to hold his own against a big tackle or a big blocking tight end, if that makes sense. Your power rusher, they're not fast, but they're strong. They'll bull rush you to the ground. And then your physical freak is like your Aaron Donalds of the world, guys. These are guys that are just a freak of nature. They can do it all right? So defensive tackles, well, I say Aaron Donald, he plays more D tackle. Think like Micah Parsons. Does that make sense? Just a freak of nature, or your Myles Garrett's, okay? Defensive tackle, not us NFL, but y'all get what I'm saying. D tackles, you have your gap specialists, okay? These are going to be your defensive tackles with high awareness and high play recognition that are smart enough to maintain gap recognition, okay? And this is big because this is for even, teams that run zone. For people to understand, when you're running zone, it's not so much that, hey, I need to go from point A to point B. No. The way that the offensive linemen shift when you're running inside or even outside zone, the A gap may start in one place, but it may end up in another place. Your defensive tackles who are gap specialists will be able to realize and see that, and they'll be able to stay in those gaps. If that A gap shifts to the left, one gap, that defensive tackle is going to be smart enough to say, I'm responsible for the freaking A gap. I need to maintain gap integrity, all right? And then the same thing as the edge, you have your physical freak. Like, that's your Aaron Donalds right there, bub. And then your power rusher and your speed rusher. Your linebackers, okay? You have your lurker, your thumper, and your signal caller. Lurker, if I had to guess, guys, would be your coverage linebackers. Your thumper is a downhill Patrick Willis, hit you in the mouth, Brian Urlacher, Ray Lewis type guy. And then your signal caller, guys, that's your smart. He has very high play recognition. He can cover the pass and he can play the run because this is the guy that is the center of your defense. He is the signal caller. He knows what the defense is going to do or what the offense is going to do. Sorry. And then your cornerbacks. Very interesting because I'm a DB myself. Shout out to me. You know what I'm saying? But you have your bump and run. These are your guys who are physical. They will get in your face. They can jam you, but they also have the agility to stay with you down the field, bump and run. You have your field. This is so freaking cool. You have your field corners and you have your boundary corners. Guys, there is a big difference. And then you have your zone covers. They're good. Bump and run is going to be your man specialist. Zone is going to be your zone specialist. I love that they added field and boundary corners in the game. All right, so let me explain this to some of y'all who may not know what field and boundary is. Your field corner is going to be your smarter corner, but he's also your more athletic corner. Why? Because he has so much more ground to cover. And a lot of times he's on an island by himself because being to the field, which means that if the field is basically, say that the offense is on the right hash, okay? So the right side of the field is considered the boundary because it's not that much space to work with. Your field corner will be to the left. Why? Because it's a lot of open field to work with. You need somebody who can run. Your most athletic cornerback needs to be your field corner because a bunch of times the rest of the defense is away from him because they're set up on the right hash, in the middle of the field, whatever, closer to the boundary, if that makes sense. So he needs to be smart. He needs to be able to cover because a lot of times that field corner, people will put them in one-on-one situations to give that receiver a lot of field to work with. So he needs to be fast. He needs to be smart. Your best corner, in my opinion, if you're going to put somebody in the field corner, you want your top corner. You don't need somebody slow. Don't put your slow corner there. If you have two corners and one is faster, and they're about the same wise as far as play recognition and awareness, put the faster guy at the field corner. Your boundary corner is almost like a corner safety hybrid. This is a guy that does good on run support. He plays to the boundary, okay? Because a lot of teams will run to the boundary, okay? But they're going to run power and stuff like that to the boundary and things of that nature. So your other corner, who's a little bit more physical in the run game and stuff like that, maybe not as good in man-to-man coverage, maybe not as good in space like a zone corner will, okay? This is the guy that you would put at your boundary corner. So they kind of go hand in hand. Your field corner is like a hybrid bump and run corner. And then your boundary corner is like a hybrid zone type corner. Does that make sense? And then your safeties, you have your coverage specialists. Simply put, they're good in coverage. You have your box specialists. This is your run support safeties. And then you have your hybrids who are just good at everything. Freaking love this, guys. I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, do I want to talk about it? I know I wanted to talk about it, but I was going to wait till tomorrow, and I'm saying, you know what? I'm not doing that to these guys. You know, time waits for no man. If I wait to talk about it, somebody else is going to. So this is huge, and I cannot wait to Scott, holla at your boy, man. This is gold right here. When you talk about building a team and schemes, this is huge, man. I am stoked about this. So I run a veer and shoot. Okay. So the type of receivers that I would get, I'm not, I would need some, definitely some route artists and some elusive route runners, because it's so fast paced in the veer and shoot. You want those guys to be smart. You run a lot of option routes at the receiver position, so you don't necessarily need a possession guy. You need somebody who can be fast in and out of their breaks and be smart enough to look at the defense and say, do I cut it down and run this, or do I run this? Because the receivers have those options in the veer and shoot, and we love to stretch the field, okay? Running back wise, I would like to get an elusive bruiser. I need a back that is elusive, that's able to get to the outside if we need him to, but also to be able to run through the tackles, because I do run a lot of inside zone. Tight end wise, not really run a bunch of tight end sets. I would get a vertical tight end on that. Offensive line wise, I would get agile, because we like to run zone. We like to run to the outside. I like to run RPOs and things like that. I need linemen who can move. Running the veer and shoot, I also like to run a lot of no huddle. So with that being said, I don't need a big burly offensive lineman. Does that make sense? And pass protector is good, but I also need them to be able to run block. So well-rounded, yeah. But me, I would like to go more for agile. So, and then quarterback wise, hey, baby, dual threat really would be best for me. Like, I really want that pure runner, but you sling that ball a lot. So I need a guy who can run, because I do RPOs, I do power reads and options even, and then still be able to throw the ball and stuff like that. So, oh my gosh, y'all, I am looking at the chops to see y'all schemes and help get y'all the best fit or whatever for y'all scheme. I am super, super excited to bring y'all that information. Man, let me know in the comment section down below, guys. We'll start doing that tomorrow. Holla at your boy. Till next time, y'all. Thanks for watching. Peace.